After studying this module, we shall be able to know about the concept of social marketing and also learn about ethics in marketing. The presentation would also help us learn about various issues in ethics in marketing. We shall learn through a case study of Coca-Cola.
Concept is one that should not be confused with social media marketing. It is a marketing concept that holds the idea that a company should make good marketing decisions by taking into consideration what their customers want. Whereas the social media marketing is use of social media for marketing of products and services. The various websites such as Facebook, Orkut, Instagram, other applications like Twitter, WhatsApp, Viber, and many more are used these days for the purpose of popularizing a product or an idea which goes viral within few minutes. The social marketing concept states that marketing decisions should be made considering the company's requirements and society's long-term interests. The social marketing concept is closely linked with the principles of sustainable development and corporate social responsibility. Due to its emphasis on corporate social responsibility, the concept suggests that if a company's main focus should be on the exchange relationship with customers, then it may not be something that is suitable in order to sustain long-term success. Instead, companies should take on a marketing strategy that delivers value to customers in a way that maintains or improves both the consumers and the society's well-being. The social marketing concept embodies a higher and more enlightened plane of marketing thought and practice. The concept has an emphasis on social welfare and suggests that if a company focuses only on exchange relationship with customers, it might not be able to sustain long-term success. Rather, marketing strategy should be such that maintains or improves both the consumers and the society's interest at large. Most companies recognize that socially responsible activities improve their image among customers, stockholders, the financial community, and all other relevant publics. Ethical and socially responsible practices are simply good business, resulting not only in favorable image, more satisfied stakeholders, but ultimately increased sales. The social marketing concept, which holds that the organization's task is to determine the needs, wants, and interests of target markets and to deliver the desired satisfactions more effectively and efficiently than competitors in a way that preserves or enhances the consumers and the social welfare. The social marketing concept calls upon the marketers to build social and ethical considerations into their marketing practices. They must balance and juggle the often conflicting criteria of company profits, customer want satisfaction, and public interest. Yet, a number of companies have achieved notable sales and profit gains by adopting and practicing the social marketing concept. Some companies practice a form of social marketing called cause-related marketing. Pringle and Thompson define this as an activity by which a company with an image, product, idea, or service to market builds a relationship or partnership with a cause, a number of causes for mutual benefit. They see it as affording an opportunity for companies to enhance their corporate reputation, raise brand awareness, increase customer loyalty, build sales, and increase press coverage. They believe the customers will increasingly look for demonstrations of good corporate citizenship.
Let us now discuss the evolution of the concept of social marketing. The social marketing concept began in 1972. The concept is meant to make marketing morally, socially, and ethically responsible. Philip Kotler, the father of marketing, wrote in the Harvard Business Journal about what consumerism means to marketers. Identified four categories which included deficient products, pleasing products, salutary products, and desirable products. Philip Kotler felt that there was no reason for deficient products and they should no longer be on the market. Pleasing and salutary products need to be revamped until they were considered desirable products. The social marketing concept was an offshoot of the marketing concept wherein an organization believes in giving benefits back to the society by producing better products targeted towards social welfare. Some have questioned whether the marketing concept is an appropriate philosophy in an age of environmental deterioration, resource shortages, explosive population growth, world hunger and poverty, and neglected social welfare. But the question is, are the companies that successfully satisfy consumer wants necessarily acting in the best long run interests of consumers and society? Are marketing firms exploiting their consumers by charging high prices? Should these national and multinational firms be allowed to use national natural resources at the cost of environmental degradation? Answers to these questions lie in implementation of CSR and social marketing. There are numerous definitions of social marketing, but in essence, it is about applying commercial marketing, that is, four P's: product, price, place, and promotion with a social twist. Marketing is about convincing people to buy a product. Social marketing is about convincing people to adopt a certain behavior or product that will improve their quality of life or that of the wider community. Population Services International, a leading social marketing organization, says their social marketing work engages private sector resources and uses private sector techniques to encourage healthy behavior and make markets work for the poor. A promotional process whereby a business first assesses the interests of targeted consumers and then aims to deliver products more effectively and efficiently than its competition so that it benefits their customers and society's overall welfare. The social marketing approach tends to balance the pursuit of business profits with consumer desires and the society's best interests. Marketing managers within different firms will see some social issues as more relevant than others. The relevance of a given social issue is determined by the company's products, promotional efforts, and pricing and distribution policies, but also by its philosophy of social responsibility.
Social marketing uses the benefits of doing social good to secure and maintain customer engagement. In social marketing, the distinguishing feature is therefore its primary focus on social good, and it is not a secondary outcome. Not all public sector and not for profit marketing is social marketing. Public sector bodies can use standard marketing approaches to improve the promotion of their relevant services and organizational aims. This can be very important but should not be confused with social marketing, where the focus is on achieving specific behavioral goals with specific audiences in relation to topics relevant to social good, for example, health, sustainability, recycling, etc. For example, a 3-month marketing campaign to encourage people to get a H1N1 vaccine is more tactical in nature and should not be considered social marketing. A campaign that promotes and reminds people to get regular checkups and all of their vaccinations when they are supposed to encourages a long-term behavior change that benefits society. It can therefore be considered social marketing. As the dividing lines are rarely clear, it is important not to confuse social marketing with commercial marketing. A commercial marketer selling a product may only seek to influence a buyer to make a product purchase. Social marketers dealing with goals such as reducing cigarette smoking or encouraging follow up of traffic rules have more difficult goals to achieve, to make potentially difficult and long term behavioral change in target populations. It is sometimes felt that social marketing is restricted to a particular spectrum of client, that is, the non-profit organization, the health services group, and the government agencies. These are the clients of social marketing agencies, but the goal of inducing social change is not restricted to governmental or non-profit organizations, but it may be argued that corporate public relations efforts such as funding for the arts are an example of social marketing. It should not be confused with the societal marketing concept as well, because it was a forerunner of sustainable marketing in integrating issues of social responsibility into commercial marketing strategies. In contrast to that, social marketing uses commercial marketing theories, tools, and techniques to social issues. Social marketing applies a customer oriented approach and uses the same concepts and tools as used by commercial marketers in pursuit of social goals like anti smoking campaigns or fundraising for NGOs. Social marketers must create competitive advantage by constantly adapting to and instigating change. With climate change in mind, adaptations to market changes are likely to be more successful if actions are guided by knowledge of the forces shaping market behaviors and insights that enable the development of sustainable competitive advantages.
The next important area the marketer needs to know about is what is the relevance of social marketing in order to protect the environment and to improve the quality of life, and should be concerned with issues that include conservation of natural environment, reducing environmental pollution, protecting endangered animals, and control of land use. The three R's of environment protection are reduce, reuse, and recycle. Many companies are finding that consumers are willing to pay more for a green product. Toyota has become quite successful with their hybrid cars. Many consumer durable companies are using this strategy for increasing customer interest in their brand. Green marketing has become an important strategy for modern marketers. Let us now discuss the ethics that should be considered in marketing a product. Kotler and Roberto give strong emphasis to the significance of ethics in social marketing. Whenever marketing behavior changes, it is imperative to acknowledge the need for responsibility and accountability to the people in the target audience. Although, in the end, The results of the program are the final measure of success. The means to that end are just as important. People should never be forced into a behavior, even though it may be for their own good. Programs may have side effects and unintended consequences that can be harmful in the long run. Programs which offer incentives for behavior change may encourage materialistic values and a disinclination to do anything without an extrinsic reward. Ethical criteria must be considered from the beginning in selecting the target audience, designing research, and determining social marketing mix, and must also be used in evaluation throughout a program to make sure that it does no harm. Every element of the program should be ethically sound. Indian marketers and multinational corporations operating in India started realizing the importance of corporate social responsibility and ethics in marketing and their role in conducting the business which takes care of the society's interest at the same time optimizing the profit of their organization. For a marketing manager to take an ethical decision, knowledge of the subject matter should be there. He should have an assessment of risk and experience to understand the risk involved in a decision affecting all the stakeholders in the process. A number of fast moving consumer goods companies and multinational corporations are using social issues for increasing the sales and target new market segments. Some of the Indian companies like Tata Group also use the strategy extensively. A recent example is to persuade the viewers for using their voting franchise in the 2014 union elections. Another widespread message is women empowerment, AIDS prevention, and pulse polio. In broader sense, it has been used as a means to spread awareness about social messages useful for the society at large. Ethics in marketing practices is the need of the hour as consumers and society are aware now about good practices. Value driven ethical leadership, compliance driven ethics training, monitoring, and reporting systems are necessary for an ethical corporate culture. Thus, it is vital to understand how people behave in certain situations and take decisions. Although corporate decisions are influenced by individual factors also, it is a complex process to analyze individual motivations, perceptions, values, which affect decision making in various organizations. It is about creating a corporate culture favoring ethical decision making. Let us discuss some examples of potential ethical issues in marketing. These are: first, invasion of privacy, that is, obtaining data without permission. There is an increasing trend of acquiring data from various sources of probable customers and then taking up marketing applications for pushing sales. The second ethical issue is target customers and market. This involves targeting the vulnerable, that is, the children and the elderly, or excluding potential customers from the market, for example, discouraging demand from undesirable market sectors. The next issue is pricing. It may include price fixing, price wars, price collusion, creating monopoly, that is, agreeing with other competitors to set prices in a market to the detriment of competition. It may also involve differential pricing, contract pricing, meeting competitive prices, charging higher prices than firms with similar products are offering while claiming superiority, and pricing to present versus non customers. An important ethical issue is advertising and promotion. This may include issues over truth and honesty, issues with violence and gender bias, taste and controversy, and negative advertising. It is possible to see how the law acts to prevent or deter unethical marketing practices in some cases. Price fixing is considered to be anti competitive as well as unethical. So, a business cannot first agree prices with its competitors, second, share markets or limit production to raise prices, third, impose minimum prices on different distributors, and lastly, agree with competitors what purchase price it will offer to suppliers.
Ethical marketing requires marketing strategies that are ethical and reflect consumer and market expectations. It is not easy to define the term ethical or identify which ethical decisions cater to market expectations. An individual's view of ethics and morality is influenced by a variety of things, including their culture, background, experience, family, community, religion, language, and country. Balancing ethics and remaining competitive can be difficult. If ethical marketing involves considering the needs and welfare of suppliers, employees, and customers, it adds to business costs. For example, fair trade dealings add cost to marketers. When business costs increase, profit margins reduce, or the costs are passed on to the consumers through price increases. Ethics is the study of moral principles that guide the conduct. Historically, there have been two points of view on the study on ethics in marketing. First, let the buyer be aware. From this point of view, the rights of the seller are central. The company has little regard for customer needs and wants. The second viewpoint is let the seller be aware. Here, customer satisfaction is taken to an extreme. No matter what the customer does, it is okay. Which position is correct? How do we resolve this inevitable conflicts, which is brought out by these competing viewpoints? Marketers must be aware of ethical standards and acceptable behavior. This awareness means that marketers must recognize the viewpoints of three key players, that is, the company, the industry, and the society. Since these three groups almost always have different needs and wants, ethical conflicts are bound to arise. Ethical conflicts in marketing arise when there are differences between the needs of the above mentioned groups, that is, the company, the industry, and the society.
Ethical dilemmas facing marketing professionals today fall into one of the three categories, that is, tobacco and alcohol promoting, consumer privacy, and green marketing. Standards for ethical marketing guide business in efforts to do the right thing. Such standards have four functions, that is, to help identify acceptable practices, foster internal control, avoid confusion, and lastly, facilitate a basis for discussion. Let us discuss a case study on social marketing. Many unethical activities relate to marketing activities, but they generally begin as a strategy. Coca Cola, following allegations of contamination in Belgium, was forced to lay off a number of top level executives as a result of the entire controversy. The company was also accused of racial discrimination, and its 2,000 odd African American employees filed a suit, and it had to pay $193 million as compensation in settlement. In 2002, the company again ran into trouble when a fraud was detected against a study conducted for Burger King revealed that the company launched a new product, frozen Coke, along with its products as a kid snack. It was revealed that Coke deceived and manipulated data in the test pilot study conducted for it. Consequently, a number of top executives were fired, and Coke had to pay $21 million to the Burger King to settle the dispute. To overcome its ethical mistakes, Coke launched 1,000 new products in 2005 as its main competitor, Pepsi, achieved a much higher sales growth as compared to Coke. Marketing managers cannot ensure ethical practices and strategies in marketing without proper communication throughout the company about values, expectations, and standards. No marketing strategy can be implemented without understanding and cooperation of all the levels of employees. Though no manager has ethics in the job title, but everyone is accountable in the end for all practices and strategies of the company.
Let us now recapitulate what we have learned in this module. Social marketing is a concept which is more than cause-related marketing strategy, encompassing use of socially beneficial ideas for increasing market presence. In a narrow sense, it is basically to push sales and bottom line results. Broadly, it is to sell or discourage an idea, product, or service using a socially productive concept. A member of fast moving consumer goods MNCs are using social issues for increasing the sales and target new market segments. Some of the Indian companies like Tata Group also use the strategy extensively. A recent example is to persuade the viewers for using their voting franchise in the 2014 union elections. Another widespread message is women empowerment, AIDS prevention, and pulse polio. In broader sense, it has been used as a means to spread awareness about social messages useful for the society at large. Ethics in marketing practices is the need of the hour as consumers and society are aware now about good practices. Values driven ethical leadership, compliance driven ethics training, monitoring, and reporting systems are necessary for an ethical corporate culture. Thus, it is vital to understand how people behave in certain situations and take decisions. Although corporate decisions are influenced by individual factors also, it is a complex process to analyze individual motivations, perceptions, values which affect decision making in organizations. It is about creating a corporate culture favoring ethical decision making. There are 4 reasons of the current level of business ethics at present. First, there is an increased pressure on business firms to make decisions in socially diverse value systems. Second, there is a growing tendency for business decisions to be judged publicly by various stakeholders. Third, the public expectations of ethical behavior has increased many-fold. And lastly, ethical business conduct has declined due to increased competition and greed.